You're watching Half Asian Tarot Queen. I'm Lisa, and I'm continuing on my rampage of readings because the energy has been, like I said, it's been super intense. And I usually don't do this many readings, but there's just been a lot. So, okay, so this is a bunch of stuff just plopped out, so I'm just going to take what plopped out. So at the bottom, we got Temperance. This card of alchemy, and it's a card of like manifestation, and it's card of like sort of like bringing things into balance. There's all this emotion being passed back and forth between these two cups, and it's kind of being brought into balance. But it's like it's not being wasted, you know, like stuff is happening. And then we have, so this is really interesting. So we have the Five of Cups. So it's like there's 3 cups that have been spilled here, but there's 2 cups that still remain. So like this card is all about sort of like focusing on what you have left and not focusing your energy on what's lost, because you can't do anything about spilled milk. So it's like turn around and face the 2 of Cups, face the love. Turn towards the love. So it's really interesting because like I've been relating a lot of this stuff going on back to Ukraine because it's so intense, and like it's really been sort of like demonstrating the energy and everything. Like it's kind of the middle of the night again, so again, like the energy is super intense, but like today it's been just like, so it's just been this brutal onslaught, you know, and like Putin is just like not gonna give up, you know, because it is kind of like an existential thing for him. Like he has to win. Like he doesn't have a choice, so he doesn't really care what he has to do as long as he wins, you know. And so it just keeps getting like worse and worse and worse, you know. And like meanwhile, like everyone else is like trying to take the high road, you know. But like it's like, how do you take the high road with this guy who's just like killing pregnant moms, and you know, like, but like nobody wants to escalate it, you know. But it's just like they're not going to stop him by taking the high road, so it's just sort of like, what do you do? Because he's just going to double down on evil, you know. So I don't know where this is all coming from, but the other cards that just came out, so it's like turn and face the love, you know, like we get this message. And then we got the Ace of Pentacles, so like this like tangible solid opportunity and this new beginning, and there's this like doorway to go through to like this new thing, you know. And then we have the Tower. So it's just sort of like interesting to have these two come out together, because it's like this is a good thing, you know. But we have the Tower, and we have, you know, this loss, and we have the Ace of Pentacles in between. So it's like almost like this Ace of Pentacles is like triggering, this opportunity is triggering like this total shakedown in the current situation, you know. And so it's just like everything's gonna be crazy. So it's just like in this moment of crazy, like go towards the love, you know, and stay positive and go towards the love, because it looks like there's this total shakedown that's happening, but it's leading towards the positive. Oh my gosh. I split the deck and I got, well, this card's been coming up a lot. So that message of like having to sacrifice something important to you and let it be transformed has been coming out a lot this week. I think that's like the third or fourth time that message has come through for whatever that's worth. Okay. So at the bottom of the deck we have fire. So transformation. We got the Tower and we got fire. So we're like burning down the house here. Like whatever the current situation is, it's like burning to the ground, you know? But there's this tangible, solid opportunity that's showing up at the same time. So, and then we got the Beauty Way. So this is a card of sort of like being in the state of flow and being led along your path and everything you need coming to you as you need it, and like everything is gonna work out, and like it's all about the love, you know. So, and then we have the Owl. So the Owl is a card of like your ancestors watching over you, and there being signs and symbols to like guide you, and so like you're protected and you're being looked after. And it's really weird because yesterday I had this really weird experience where like I saw like two hawks, like one right after the other. And it felt like a message, you know, because it's just like, I've never even seen you here before. Like, what's going on? But basically, it's like this, the mystical shaman kind of gives like a more spiritual bent. But it's just sort of like, there's this transformation happening, but don't worry, like, relax, because it's gonna work out. Everything's gonna work out. Just like you're protected, you're being guided. Like, it looks really crazy, but you know, you're gonna get what you need. So don't lose your cool. Stay positive, and like just keep things flowing, keep things moving. Okay, I'm going to Intuitive Night Goddess Tarot. Okay, when I pulled it out, at the bottom was the Nymph of Swords. So that's like the Page of Swords in the traditional deck. And what's weird is when I pulled out the Radiant Wise Spirit, the regular tarot deck, that the Page of Swords was at the bottom of that one too. So it's just sort of like, it could be a stalker energy. It can also be like a message of truth or clarity. But, you know, like some kind of triggering event, perhaps. Like, the thought that just came to me was like, you know, like when there's like a war that starts and it's like some stray bullet that like triggers the whole meltdown that like, you know, causes everything to happen. And so maybe that's kind of what the Page of Swords is. Hopefully that's not what's going down with the, you know, the whole Russia situation. Okay. All right. Okay, so we got the Spirit of Pentacles at the bottom. So that's like embodying the energy of the pentacle. You know, it's kind of like what would be the King of Pentacles in the regular deck, but this is like a goddess deck. So it's like, this is sort of like just being in this energy of like abundance and, you know, stability and freedom, and like just sort of kind of mastering the energy of the pentacle, you know. We got Temperance again. We got the Spirit of Swords. We got meditation. And we got the Seven of Swords. So, you know, this is a card of like deception. It's a card of lies. But it's interesting because on the other side of that, we have Temperance. You know, this is card of alchemy, card of balance. And we have the Spirit of Swords, which is kind of like, you know, the King of Swords in the traditional deck. But this is, you know, again, it's a goddess deck. So in the traditional deck, it's like a harsh truth. But in this deck, it's sort of like, it's like freedom from like cutting yourself free of like things that don't serve you and are like holding you back. And like, so you doing all of that inner work and it like leading to embodying the like swords energy and being like having freedom, you know. And then we have meditation. So this is the Hangman in the traditional deck. So this is a sort of card of like taking a moment and just like being still and like being guided, and also just like maybe having to sacrifice something in order to move into the next moment. And then it goes right into this deception. So it's like clearly this is what we have to like cut ourselves free from in order to facilitate this shift, you know. So yeah, it's sort of like speaking of like this moment of bringing things into balance in the alchemy, and that like that whole thing being triggered by sort of like taking a step back and really being intentional about your movement, because you really want to cut yourself free from this situation that's really holding you back and bringing you down. And that's going to lead to stability and abundance and everything. So it's just sort of like, yeah, it's really interesting because it's like, I'm sure like Zelensky is like really thinking about, you know, like, it's like, how can I cut myself free from this? Like, it's so crazy that you're just like, I mean, he's really trying to like negotiate and stuff, but how do you negotiate with somebody who's like, it's not even so much crazy as that he's just like desperate. Like he can't lose. Like it's an existential thing. So it's just sort of like there's no reasoning with that, you know? And so you kind of like wonder like, where's this gonna go? Because it's like he's trying to be reasonable and he's trying to like meet him halfway, but like there's no room for him to do that, you know, because it's like an existential crisis. So it's like you can't just like give up everything to somebody who's like completely unreasonable and insane. And like, yeah, like, I don't know, like I was watching the news today and just being like, where is this gonna go? Like, is there anywhere else for it to go right now? Like, it just seems like they've just like hit this wall, you know. And it's just like, how much destruction is gonna have to happen? Like, okay. All right, so I got 3 cards from the Wild Offering. I got, oh wait, okay. All right, well, positivity. If you can find even one thing to be grateful for, it will restore you to the light. Please let me always feel gratitude for something, even a tiny thing, even in the hardest situation. All right, it's got like birds. Then aging. I am one with unlimited love beyond all seeming restrictions of age. I am filled with joy, energy, and beauty, a vessel for the divine spirit. And we have money. This is the one on the bottom, by the way. All my finances are now in divine order. Love itself knows my needs and is the source for all. I needn't cling to gain or fear loss. Every need will be met through offering all to the divine. So, stay positive. Everything's gonna work out. You're gonna have what you need. It's gonna come to you. And yeah, like I'm not sure how this aging thing fits into the equation and restrictions of age. It's kind of a wild card. I mean, I don't even know. I mean, it's just like, because it's just sort of like, it's just sort of like, I mean, like with Vladimir Putin, people talk about how he's just sort of like this aging dictator, and like, what do you do with that, So I guess that'll just be the wild card message. I'm not sure what to say about that, though. I mean, I have been kind of, I'm not getting any younger myself, but that just means that we're on a wiser track. So, yeah, that's it for now. Check in later.